Hi, Anne. How are you?
Oh, fine, thank you. How are you?
Amazing. Is it An Swinnen? Is
It
that how we
is,
pronounce it?
yes.
Swinnen. Yeah, pleasure to meet you. Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm calling from Bostle Cottage, and Bostle Cottage is one of our retreat venues on Dartmoor. I don't know how well you know England, but in the southwest we
Not that
have
well. I know London and Manchester. I don't know. I don't know that.
not there.
Okay.
We're in the
Okay.
southwest. We're in the southwest, and Dartmoor is a national park. We've got wild ponies, we've got wild sheep. It's an incredibly beautiful area down here. We've got three retreat venues down here, and I'm in one of them, Bostle Cottage.
Amazing. Beautiful. When you say retreat venues, can you explain what that entails? Like what is that? It's a cottage. Is that a part of your
Yes.
physical locations or is that something that you use for to host your retreats?
Both. Our guests have a choice between three venues. Bostle Cottage is on Dartmoor, in a typical Dartmoor town, which is very, very authentic. I mean, just think Agatha Christie,
Aha.
and you get the vibe. It's lovely and peaceful here. And of course, we're right on the southern edge of the moor, Dartmoor, which is great for walking and hiking and horse riding. And all of that, of course, is included in the retreat activities. So and also, even if people do prefer to be at one of the other two venues, we still use Bostle Cottage during the day. Very often, we will just stop here. It's about half an hour away from Plymouth, where our other two retreat venues are. And then we just stop off here. It's a lovely base. It's a lovely house with a lovely garden. We've got a back garden where you can eat al fresco. We've got a front garden. We've got This is a
Nice.
lovely, lovely town with community. Now we've got two other venues. We've got the Crown Plaza in Plymouth. Plymouth is Britain's ocean city because it's at the ocean. It's the only city at the ocean here in England, and the Crown Plaza, it overviews the sea, the Hoe, which is in the green right on top of the cliff with the lighthouse on it. It's really, really beautiful. And then at the top, we've got a fantastic Marco Pierre White restaurant, and we always go there for dinner at the retreats. On one
What
of
is
the
that?
nights,
Marco Pierre White? Is that a well-known chef?
it's a very well known chef.
Okay. Oh, I need to
Very well.
catch up on my chef, my celebrity chef knowledge here.
You do. He's actually Bath, which is not far from here. It's about 2 hours away from here, which
Here,
is
let me just.
actually it's actually my favorite city.
Okay, great. I can't screen share with this technology right now, so I was going to do a screen share and bring Plymouth up, but it's easy enough to do on a Google search.
Oh yes, it's absolutely beautiful. And then we have the Borington Hall Hotel and Spa, which is one of the only five-star hotels in the southwest. It's won many, many awards. It's like a very old manor house with a big hall with a big fire. We've got the secret bar. To get into the secret bar, you have to go through a bookcase. One of the
Oh,
books is like the handle to get into the secret bar. It's
oh,
absolutely
nice.
fantastic. It's got a Michelin star restaurant. It's got a lovely French bistro, and it's got an award-winning spa, which is, I think I can probably say, the best in the southwest. It's absolutely wonderful. They've got helicopter pad. We've got lots of people from London coming over and from Scotland, and it's just like a fabulous place to be. So that's our third venue, which is just outside Plymouth and also on the edge of Dartmoor. So, sort of like it's in the middle of the three. So people can kind of choose where they're going to be. The last guest thought that maybe Bostle Cottage and Buckfast Lee was maybe a little bit too out of town, maybe because if you haven't got a car, it's difficult to kind of leave the town in the evening. So she just chose for Plymouth, which is great because it's a lovely city. You can get around on foot. It's got the sea, it's got the old harbour, it's got shopping, it's got lots of museums and the theatres, and it's a fantastic city.
Okay, beautiful. So that's painting a little bit of a picture of what I would expect the retreat experience to be. But let's put a pin in that and just back up a little bit and
Mm,
recognize that we're having this call in October 2024, and October is known as Mental Health Awareness Month. So
that's
I
right.
just want to back up a little bit and go into the mental health topic. And that's what
Mm,
the focus of your retreats are. Can you talk a
yes.
little bit about your background as a mental health professional and how you got to where you are today?
It's a very long story. I'll try to
Oh,
kind of turn it into a very short story.
sure.
In 1994, I graduated as a teacher. And I am qualified to teach English, history, and geography. So I then went into the teaching profession, and I taught in primary schools, secondary schools, special needs schools, private, public, city, countryside, adult education. I mean, I've done it all. Been there, done that, got a t-shirt. And I also taught in a few language schools because I also teach English as a foreign language. And they then trained me to teach business English. And in 2004, I set up my own company called Business English Consulting Service Limited. And with Bex, we started traveling because basically I wanted to do business English for the corporates. Um, a lot of Europeans preferred going to Kent and London, which you can imagine is it's a lot closer than Devon. We
Yeah.
are in the southwest,
Yeah.
um, and so basically we started traveling ourselves, and we ended up in the Middle East. So especially Kuwait, in the Middle East, in the GCC countries, we had very, very big clients. So our biggest clients, Kuwait Petroleum Corporation, but we also did training for Qatar Gas, for Aluminium Bahrain, for Zain, which is a huge telecom provider
Mm.
in the Middle East. So we had many, many large clients. And first off, they asked for, of course, business English courses, then for business courses, then for management courses. And then around 2014, 2015, they started asking us for stress management courses. And mindfulness was a big thing.
Hmm.
Um, did those because when you do corporate courses, what happens is they say, okay, we want you to design a course, stress management course specifically for us. So with examples from our company in our sector, in our country, and then we would design a course around that. So they would also give us the content, and they would give us the objectives. And so we were delivering these courses, and I thought to myself, well, this is not getting any better. You know,
The
that's,
client was giving you the content for the stress management course.
yeah, but that is quite
Okay.
normal. You know, they will
Okay.
ask us for time management or for leadership or team building or strategic change, and then they will actually give us. This is quite normal because what they do is they do a needs analysis with their employees. They ask the
Hmm.
employees and they ask management, where are the gaps? What do we need courses on? And so HR does needs analysis, and they come up with stress management with so many people are off with stress. So then they tell us do stress management, and then they will actually give us the objectives and the content. So it's not as if we can just do whatever we want. We are given this, and then we design a course with this. And I thought to myself, this is not. It was your typical stress management course, and I thought this is not going to do it. This is not going to fix the problem here. So because I am a qualified teacher, which meant that I already had a really good background in psychology and neurology, I thought if I want to make a difference, if I want to really change this, I've got to go back and study myself. And I need to go back and I need to know exactly what goes on in the brain, because that is the key. The
Hmm.
brain is the key, because it's the brain
Well,
that
let
basically
me, can
produces the
I'm going to
stress.
interrupt as we go, if that's okay with you.
No, that's fine.
When you said this isn't going to solve the problem, what were some of the problems that they were presenting with that you said, okay, this cookie cutter kind of course isn't really cutting it? So what were they coming to you with? Um,
It's very, very simple. People were going off with stress. So the problem was our employees are not here. That was the problem. They needed to bring them back, and they also needed the people stop going
what,
off ill with stress.
what do you mean not here? You mean they're taking sick days? They're
Yes,
physically not
exactly.
present at work. Okay.
Yeah. So we never actually dealt with any of these patients because these patients were not at work. So corporate training is very much like that. I mean, they try and avoid people going off ill. How are you going to do this? Through stress management courses and educating people. I didn't think they were talking about the brain enough. So I then, in 2018, I started studying at CPHD in Plymouth, and I then graduated as a clinical solution focused psychotherapist and hypnotherapist. And in 2019, I wrote a book called Brain Based Stress Management. And that is a self help book. It's a fun self help book. And I wanted to write that book because I then designed the course Brain Based Stress Management, which I was going to sell to all the corporates. And we were very, very successful. I mean, in 2019, I graduated, I wrote the book, I got it all out there. I was ready to sign lots and lots of contracts in Kuwait. We were going to do the book launch at the embassy. Everything was put in place. And what happened? COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to cancel my March and April trip to Kuwait. With that book launch in Kuwait, we did do the book launch in the UK, but not in Kuwait. We didn't sign the contracts that we were going to do because, of course, I now had a whole team of psychotherapists. We, the psychotherapists, were going to educate employees about stress and about the brain and how you can cope. And of course, that didn't go ahead because of COVID. So in 2020, because of all the lockdowns, I wasn't doing anything anyway. I wrote my second book on mental health, and that's called The Mental Health Survival Guide because it's a jungle out there. And that's basically on every single topic, we give 5 top tips with a funny cartoon to go with it. And that was more for the younger people who don't like reading. And it's sort of like it's an easy and short way of getting all the content that was in brain-based stress management but presented differently. So because COVID had a huge impact on the corporate training sector, we started doing talks instead of training courses after COVID. And doing the talks was very, very interesting. Brain-based stress management talk is about half an hour. Let's say the Q&A after, let's say, 40 minutes. And then usually there is a dinner or a lunch that goes with that. Well, whenever I did the talk, I could never eat afterwards because I had a queue of 60 people waiting to talk to me, which was never about them. It was for a neighbor or a friend or the niece or everything else. Never for them, you know. And I thought, right, okay. And I thought, right, okay, the courses we are helping people in general, the talks we are helping people in general, but we're not actually helping individuals very much here because I can never have the chat unless it's on a coffee break or whatever. You know, we can't help the individuals here. So I thought, well, you know what we do? We'll just do a retreat. And the retreat is a one-to-one. So people come to us and then they tell us what's wrong. Why do they want to come on this mental health retreat? And then we design a retreat specifically for them. So that's what we do with the corporates as well. We design it specifically for them and also for our clients, because it's a one-to-one, we design it specifically for them. So they say we are suffering from this, and then we will design the retreat specifically for them. So they can choose in which venue they stay. They can choose the duration. They can choose the dates. And then we will tailor make it for them. And it's what is very
What are some of those reasons that they come to you when they say I'm suffering
oh,
from this
that
and
is
this?
very interesting because I thought, right, when we started doing this, there are 2 different kinds of guests, right? There are the proactive guests who say, oh, this is really interesting. I'd like to learn a little bit more, you know, general knowledge,
Yeah.
oh, I'll come in December or January. These are the proactive guests. We hardly ever get any proactive guests. We get the reactive guests. We get people who are in a panic. There is on our website there is a, shall I mention the website?
Yeah, sure.
The
Sure, sure.
website is www.
And
There is a,
we'll link to it wherever this is. We'll link to it wherever this is published down
oh,
below.
great,
Yeah.
fantastic, thank you. There is a WhatsApp button there. So very often at 10:30 in the evening, I get WhatsApps from people who are in a panic, who
Hmm.
think that they are having a burnout, who can't cope anymore, who realize that they need to do something. And then they say, can we arrive at the end of the week or next week? And then I say, yes. So, and only then, after I said yes and given some more information about it all, and they have a look at the website, and I give them some information about the venues, how it all works, they look at the website, and only then do I look in my diary. And then in my diary, I might have some things which I then move out of my diary. And I have a wonderful team. And then I will ask them, okay, all of these retreat activities are included in the retreat. So which ones are you interested in? Which ones would you like to try? And then I get in touch with my team and we'll get them booked in. And then from there, we'll design. So when people arrive, as I said, they really are in a panic. They say, my life has taken over, this and that. And I stay very, very calm because I know every single time when people leave, they are relaxed, they are calm, they know exactly what's going on, and they've got a plan for the future. And it gives me fantastic satisfaction, not just me, but the team. This is a team effort here. And they leave and they're completely different. And it doesn't really matter if you've been here for a day and a half or 5 days. Yeah, we have fantastic results, which is lovely.
So you take your experience developing and implementing corporate training uh, courses and programs and applying that towards bespoke retreats for people based
That's
on the
right.
activities that they choose and helping them to overcome the burnout or the stress or the trauma of what they're encountering in their life, and then also giving them tools to go forward, the clarity and
Exactly.
the tools to go forward.
Exactly. Yes.
Amazing. What kinds of people, or how would you describe the types of people that typically come to your retreats? Is this
Typically,
corporate types?
yes. Yes. I would say typically women in their 30s and 40s
Mm.
who are trying to be super women and
Hmm.
who get to a stage where they can't cope anymore, but also people who are off sick with stress and with a burnout and who say, I can't get out of this, I need some professional help. So my team, I have the professionals. So there's three psychotherapists. We are also hypnotherapists. And then we have the specialists. So we have Natalie, who does yoga and meditation. We have Emma, who does art therapy. She's a fantastic artist. She's called the Island Artist. She does a lot of her work on Burr Island, which is very famous from Agatha Christie, because Agatha Christie stayed there at the hotel where Emma is having an art exhibition at the moment. And she wrote a book, Evil Under the Sun, there. It was also filmed there. And then we've got Sally, who does the sound therapy. And we also go horse riding. We have someone who, if we want to go walking on Dartmoor with a dog, we can do that. We have Becca, who does grief and trauma therapy. So we've got a wonderful team. And even if people come in and say, oh, I'd like to do this, our network will know someone. And so basically, as I said, we sort of tailor make it for the client, really. But yeah, it's a wonderful area here, very authentic, very peaceful, very beautiful, very English, and it's very open and welcoming. And I think just being here already has a massive effect on people when they get here because everyone is so friendly and welcoming.
Do you have a sort of base framework that you then add additional experiences into, or are the retreats from the ground up, like a blank piece of paper, and they talk to somebody on your team to design the whole experience from scratch?
Basically, they talk to me.
Ah.
And usually, with the content of the book, Brain Based Stress Management, we can usually fix all of the problems. We've got like several sections of the book. Again, the fact that we have done business and management courses for many, many companies is a godsend. Okay, so we
Hmm.
know about problem solving, we know about decision making, we know about personalities and how you can clash with certain personalities, and how can you deal with these personalities to manipulate them into doing what you want them to do to make your life easier. We know about change management. We know about the different emotions you go through when there is a big change in your life. We know if you can't change, if you can't lose the weight, if you can't stop smoking, if you can't stop gambling, how can the ATCAR model help you to do this? So we have a lot of background in this, but also, of course, our psychotherapy qualification. So we know a lot about psychology. We know a lot about neurology. And what is different to the way that we look at mental health problems to for instance, other people and other talk therapies, is that we are solution focused.
What does that mean?
Solution focused. That
Yeah. What?
means that we are going to focus on where you are now and finding a solution for you in the future. We are not going to go into the past. And that is different to most talk therapies. We don't go into the past.
Mm.
So, you might have had a big trauma. You might want to tell us about it or not. What we are going to try and do is find solutions for you to grow in the future. I'll give you an example. Some talk therapies believe that if you talk about a trauma enough, let's say a woman has been raped. Okay.
Hmm.
So some of the theories are we are going to take that experience, let the intellectual brain deal with it, get the emotion out of it, talk about it, so that the intellectual brain is now dealing with it instead of sort of the primitive brain, and get the emotion out of it so you feel better. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, I can think of better things to do every single week than sit on a sofa and relive my rape. So that's not
Hmm.
what we do. We are going to find solutions and we're going to give you tools to kind of get over this. One of the things that is incredibly helpful to get over trauma and unsolved problems is your REM sleep. And sleep is incredibly underrated in this world. I don't know this.
Could you say that
REM,
again? You were breaking up.
do you know what REM sleep is? It's
Yeah.
like
Is the
it's
it's
part. It's
the
part
from
of
what I understand, it's the phase of the sleep cycle where it's not quite the deepest phase, but it's where a lot of your subconscious mind is doing processing of unresolved experiences and emotions, and a lot of
exactly.
that. And is that where dreams happen? Is in REM sleep?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
where dreams happens. Yes.
Okay.
Now, if you just imagine that you have a stress bucket in your brain and you are filling this all day long with negative thoughts, not so much the events, but the negative thoughts, I'm never good enough. I'll never get a good job. I'll never find a husband. Why did my friend say that to me last week? My husband doesn't love me anymore. All of these negative thoughts are accumulated in a stress bucket. And the good thing about this stress bucket is every single night it gets emptied. And that gets emptied in your REM sleep. And the
If you
REM
get
sleep,
enough REM sleep.
if you
If
get
you,
enough
yeah,
REM
if you
sleep,
get your REM
thank
sleep, yeah.
you, Amir, thank you. And this is a big problem again because not everyone gets good sleep. The REM
Can
sleep,
you, is it, sorry, is it right to think of sleep as a kind of detoxing process? Detoxing,
it is
like the
detoxing of
stress
your
and
brain.
processing out all the unresolved experiences from the day?
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So basically, in your dreams, you are going to deal with a lot of things that, sometimes, if you're really, really angry with your boss, You can't
Mm.
beat her up, can you? We can't really do that in this world, but you can do it in your dream. You'll feel so much better in the morning. So your brain is going to kind of try and deal with these unresolved things with stress, but it's also going to learn, it's going to remember, it's going to delegate, it's going to make sense of things, throw out the rubbish. All the work in the brain is done in the REM sleep. The very deep sleep that you were talking about is the phase before that. And that's when your body is going to,
Produce growth
new
hormone.
cells, hormones, everything else. So sleep is incredibly important for your body in the deep sleep and incredibly important for your brain and your stress levels in your REM sleep.
Well, I got this. I was a groomsman for my best friend recently, and
Mm.
he got the groomsman a groomsman gift. So I've got this Aura ring, which is one of the biometric kind of devices on the market now, and I've been tracking my sleep, and it's pretty beat up now from going to the gym, but it measures my blood oxygen levels, and every morning I get a report of what my sleep cycles have been, and I'm not someone that really likes to track a lot of data, but it's nice to wake up and see, like, okay, how much REM sleep did I get? How much deep sleep did I get? Is it
Mm.
sufficient? Do I need to change some patterns to accommodate for more of that? So it's definitely
Well, the
bringing my
REM sleep is
awareness
about,
to getting more sleep and better quality sleep.
yes, exactly. The REM sleep is about 20% of your sleep. So if you
Mm.
have 8 hours of sleep, because it goes in different, as you know, it goes in different stages, isn't it? You
Yeah,
sort of like,
yeah.
if you get 8 hours sleep, you should get about 3 or 4 stages of your REM sleep. That would be really, really good. Now, I do know people who have fantastic mental health, very short sleep,
Wait, hold on.
and I have,
I'm a little bit
yeah,
embarrassed to show you this. Here's me from 2 nights ago. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up.
yes, you're doing really well.
That
Yeah,
night was good. That night I
that was
got
a
eight
very good night.
hours, and then it gives you like the breakdown of deep, light, REM. I don't know how much to trust this thing. Hopefully it's got good. Hopefully it gives me good quality data. But it's nice to see it on a daily basis, and then have that be an indicator of how well I'm preparing for sleep and what actions I take at night that contribute or detract from the quality of my sleep.
So, what do you do then to get your good sleep? Make sure that you have enough REM sleep.
I find no alcohol is a good one because drinking alcohol for my, I mean, I guess everybody's different, but for me, it really reduces the quality of my sleep. Um, Trying to reduce screen time
Mm.
within an hour or two before bed, eating a couple of hours before bed and not eating immediately before sleep. I watched a video recently, and there was some sleep specialist, and she said to not take a hot shower immediately before sleep because in order to fall asleep, your body core temperature needs to go down. So I'm a morning shower person, anyways, but I've made sure to allow my body to rest and kind of cool down and not be active and not having to take in a warm shower before I fall asleep. I like to sleep in a cool room, cool temperatured room. I find that that helps. Um, if I'm good, I'll do like affirmations. I have an audio track that I can listen to that takes me through um, some positive affirmations around gratefulness. So it puts me in a grateful state, and generally turning off the world before I sleep. I think I could probably improve my winding down habits though, because I'm inconsistent with when I go to bed. That's my next thing, is to have a consistent kind of wind down routine.
I would add 3 things to that. First of all, as you said, a routine. That is
Mm,
very important because you're telling your brain it's time to go to bed. But I think most people have that routine anyway. You lock the doors, you switch off the lamps, you brush your teeth, you do the whole moisturizer thing and everything else. That is basically part of your routine. You're telling your brain it's bedtime, and that really, really helps. The second thing, which is incredibly important, is how dark it is in your room.
right.
Is it dark in your room?
Well, this year I finally installed blackout curtains because I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada, which is quite north. And in the summertime, I grew up in Texas, which is much further south. And the difference between summer and winter daylight isn't as extreme as it is in Canada because we're so much farther north. And in Canada, in the summer, it is light. Sunrise, I think, is around like 4:30 a.m. and its sunset is around 10 p.m. So I've had to install blackout curtains. Otherwise, I'm waking up at way before I want to wake up. In the winter now, it's October as we're having this conversation, and the days are getting much shorter. So here in the winter, it gets dark at around 4:30 p.m. and sunrise, I think, is like 7 or 8 a.m. So no problem with having plenty of darkness there. But yeah, I find that blackout curtains close the door, so it's a bit of a cocoon and not and
Do
preventing
you
light from really coming in.
Do you know why this is? That it should be really, really dark. Because even
Mm.
if it is dark outside, that doesn't mean that it's dark nowadays inside. Because you've got your television, you've got your mobile, maybe you've got a router in the room which gives off a lot of light. There are lights everywhere.
The little light on the like the power bar or the Wi-Fi router, that little green light can illuminate the whole room.
And the smoke alarm in hotels, my goodness, they keep going off. So the main reason why it has to be very dark in your room is because when you come out of your REM sleep and you go back into the first stage, the relaxation, you wake up, but you probably don't remember waking up. Now, if
Mm.
it is light, your brain will wake you up thinking it is the morning, and you don't go into the next phase of
So
your
you'll just keep coming into consciousness. You won't
wakefulness.
go back down.
Exactly. So you come out
Uh-huh.
of your REM sleep, it is light, right? Let's wake you up. And that's why it's very important that it's very, very dark. So a lot of people wear the masks for that reason. You mentioned there that sometimes you listen to a recording with positive affirmations. Well, we also have, we basically, it's included in the book, Brain Based Stress Management. We give it to all of our guests. It's a relaxation recording. It's half an hour long with a special background tune on it. And it is designed for you, for your body and your brain to slow down. It's a little bit like hypnotherapy. We're going to put you in a trance and then we're going to give you a lot of positive messages. So although you might not have heard it, your brain is still listening to it. All of those positive affirmations then go in your hippocampus, which is the filing cabinet, your memory, and it will be accepted as the truth. So we are going to say things like you are very capable, you are very brave, you are making good decisions, lots of things like this. And that is then stored as being a truth, which is then going to affect subconsciously your decision making.
You know, I can attest to that from my personal experience. When I'm good and I do this audio, which is different from the one you're talking about. I'd love to hear the one you're talking about. But when I'm doing it regularly, I can notice a marked difference in the way I go about the rest of my following day. The same way that you were saying that in REM sleep, our brain is processing unresolved stress or whatever, it's probably processing the positive stuff too. So the
It
positive
is.
stuff that you, it's like having a cup of water right before you go to bed. It's when you put good things in your brain before going to sleep, your subconscious gets to integrate that in at a much deeper level than standing in front of a mirror and saying I'm great, I'm wonderful, or whatever. So I've noticed a marked difference in my decision making the following day, in my behavior, in my mood, whenever I do those, whenever I listen to that audio before going to bed.
It has a massive impact. It really, really has. It helps you sleep. The next day you feel calm. And that's how you feel. That's not even anything to do with the decision making that you're going to take in the future. Because all of a sudden now you're thinking, I'm great, I'm fantastic, I'm confident to do this. So it's not going to say, oh, no, 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 I won't be able to do this. No, I can do this because in your filing cabinet in your brain, it says that you can. And we put it there. Sort of positive during the day, great as well. I'll give you an example of the other side. Okay, let's say there is a very, very beautiful woman. And every single day she hears, you're fat, you're stupid, you're ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day. That goes into the hippocampus, the filing cabinet of the brain, and she will believe that. And it doesn't really matter that her family and her friends say, you're not fat, you're not ugly, and you're not stupid. Because in her brain, really honestly, she thinks she is. Because someone has been feeding that to her.
Yeah.
And then it is
Yeah.
stored as the truth.
Ideally, we'd like to people who practice personal growth and accountability and authenticity. I think in an ideal world, I wouldn't be influenced by what external voices say to me, that I'm generating my own beliefs about myself and my own worldview. But unfortunately, I think as humans, we will be influenced by our surroundings. So part of it, I think, would be to, as you say, take on the positive affirmations. And then there's something around, do you coach people on how to maybe restructure their lives so they're not as exposed to these unhelpful or unproductive voices? Is there are there life changes that people need to make in order to support their mental health?
We have a fantastic session, a fantastic tool that we use with problem solving. So basically, we sit down with our guests and we say, okay, we're going to do or use the fishbone diagram. Do you know what a fishbone diagram is? No, you
Mm-mm.
just kind of, you're going to draw the head of a fish and then the main bone, and then you have all the bones coming out.
Yeah. Okay.
Each bone of the main bone, well, first of all, you could say, what is the problem? Problem could be, I'll give an example, I can't cope. Okay. So I say, okay, why can't you cope? What are the causes of the problem? So someone will say, I am a mother of a young child. I have to commute to London. I have a husband who works away as well. There could be lots of different reasons why she can't cope. You know, she hasn't got a good nanny, the
Mm-hmm.
family lives far away, and other things. And then what we're going to do is we are going to make another fish diagram underneath with the solutions. But they're solutions. Okay, the nanny is going to move at the end of the year. You won't have a nanny anymore. How are you going to solve this problem? I'll put an ad on internet. I'll phone some nanny agencies. I will ask my friends for recommendations. So all of a sudden, the guest is going to think of solutions. So at the end of that session, and it can take a while, you know, or we do it in different sessions, you you have solutions to all of your problems.
And perhaps as importantly, you're training yourself to be in a position, in an empowered position to come up with solutions,
Exactly.
right? It's like the individual pies don't matter if you have the bakery. So you're
Mm,
developing the bakery to generate these solutions on an ongoing basis. And you realize that, like, yeah, I do have the power to deal with these issues one by one, and they don't become, they're not as overwhelming once you know you
exactly.
have the confidence to find solutions.
So that's why people are so calm and feel in control when they leave us, because they've got the solutions. They know exactly what they're going to do when they get back. This is what they're going to do. For instance, a guest who is off ill because of stress, and this person says, no, I don't want to go back into the same sector. It's too stressful. I want to try something else. I want a new job. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How are
Mm-hmm.
you going to find a job? And again, they come up with their own solutions how they're going to do it. They might
Yeah.
go on some courses, they, you know, might retrain, and they come up with their own solutions. And that is very important. An example, okay? So someone said, I can't cope. You know, time management is a big problem. You know, I've got a very young child, I've got the husband, and I've got the job. Senior job in London. Okay. Very senior job in London. So I say, okay, so that means that you want to give more time to the child. That's fine. So how many hours are you going to work? I don't know. She said, 58? No, no. Sort of like, and she says, oh, no, you can't do 58. You're commuting on top of that. You've got your travel time. You're just saying that you want to give more time to the child. Where's your time for the child? You can't do 58. And she, oh, no, you're not bargaining with me. I'm not the boss. You know, you've got to, you don't just think like, "Well, I'll make you happy, Anne." No, it's not
Mm,
about me making me happy. It's, you know, you need to find your solutions in your life.
yeah.
Don't make me happy. I'm only here as a guide, as a helper for you to find the solutions. And that's why our therapy is called solution focused. We will help you find your own solutions for the future.
And it's a very different conversation than somebody coming in and saying, I can't cope. Okay, why can't you cope? Well, when I was 4, my mom forgot me at the mall, and I didn't know how to get home. And so that was a traumatic experience. It was a very different conversation and different type of therapy than kind of the past,
True.
dredging up
We
the
don't
past.
actually look at the past. If people want to
Yeah.
tell us about the past, that's great, but we are not going to ask any
Yeah,
questions about the past.
exactly.
The past is
What I,
gone.
what I like about that again is that it's empowering people who might come in saying I can't cope, and they're walking out saying I can cope, and here's the evidence. I've got these solutions now,
Mm,
and I've got the tools to generate more solutions as life keeps throwing more problems at me.
exactly. And we also do aftercare. All of our guests, we say, if there is a problem, if you want to just think it over, talk it over, just phone us, WhatsApp us, email us, just get in touch.
Amazing. So you said that a lot of people come to you in a reactive state. Typically, how long does it take if somebody does find themselves in a situation where they just need help now? What should they do, and how long would it take for them to get into a retreat experience to start experiencing this?
We only need about 2 days, 3 days. That's all we need.
Okay, so fast
Um,
turnaround.
It's very, very fast. Usually people say they contact me on a Wednesday and they say, okay, can I start on the Sunday or the Monday, or can I do next weekend or the weekend after? Usually it is that quick. We are incredibly flexible. And because I've got a really, really good team, we, if for instance, Emma isn't available on that day, or Natalie, then we will do the sound therapy first, or we will do this first, or Malika will take over from me, or Veronique will take over from me. So we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Got it. And typically, they're what, 4 or 5? What's the length of time on these retreats? I know they're bespoke, but
Yeah,
what
people
would?
choose. People choose. For instance, someone wanted to come over for 3 days, but I was going abroad. And then when I'm going abroad, that is always a bit of a pickle. So I don't go abroad very often, but it is a bit of a pickle because I'm sort of like the main designer and the main hostess, and I'm the one who organizes and delegates and everything else. So I said, look, I can probably do, a day and a half, because it was already like last minute. I said, I can probably do a day and a half, not at Boswell Cottage, but let's do it in Plymouth. But let's stay in the hotel, so we don't have to worry about Boswell Cottage as a venue. We will just stay in Plymouth, do it in Plymouth. And she came over for a day and a half. You know, so normally it's 3 days or 5 days, but sometimes people stay for 1 or 2 or 1.5 or, yeah, but normally
Yeah.
3 or 5. And I'm really, really excited because next year we're doing 4 in the south of Spain. And I'm so looking forward to this.
Yeah, and tell me about that. I saw that on your website. You're doing 4 of them. Are these group programs or are they still
No,
one-on-ones? So you're opening
again,
up
one on
like
ones.
time slots for people to come and have one-on-one retreat experiences
Yes,
in
and they are
Spain.
5 days, so they are not flexible. They are 5 days.
Okay.
The reason being is the accommodation. We have 2 fabulous apartments opposite the beach in the south of Spain, in a
Amazing.
really, really nice area called Caruela. It is 15 minutes from Malaga Airport. So Malaga is in the south of Spain. It is on the Costa del Sol in Andalusia. Caruela is a typical Spanish fishing village. We still have the fishing boats, the wooden fishing boats are still on the beach under the palm trees. We have real
Amazing.
beach bars, and the fresh fish is coming in, and you can sit at the bar and you can see them make all the food and the tapas. It is a lovely, lovely, safe, happy place. So we've decided that next year we are going to use the 2 apartments. So the guest will stay in Santa Ana, And then I will stay in apartamento, Anna, and we have a Spanish team as well. So we will still do the horse riding, we will still do the yoga, we will still do the hypnotherapy, and we are going to an Andalusian hammam, to the baths, and
Mm.
that's going to be a 1 hour massage as well for a bit more relaxation. So we're going to have a day in Malaga,
I
which
don't know
I'm
what it's like for women, but I've been to a hammam once, and it felt a bit abusive with the scrubbing and the. It was a bit
for
extreme.
that.
You got to be ready for it to get scrubbed on that with those things, but you'll come out there cleansed for sure. There won't be a single speck of dead skin on you.
No,
Um,
no. Look, you look at the menu. You don't choose that one. Yeah, you choose the relaxation massage
yeah, yeah,
where they don't
yeah.
scrape the skin off you.
I got I got a giant Turkish guy kind of flipping me around like a rag doll. Okay.
Next time, look at the menu.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pay more attention. So how many slots do you have for the Spain one? Is
We've
it
got four. So we've got the first week of April, the second week, and then we've got the last 2 weeks of October. So the third week of October and the fourth week
so
of
it really
October.
is one at a time. You're not having four different rooms, four different people in four different rooms. So it's one at a
No.
time and the whole team focuses on that one person.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of ballpark price range are we talking about? This is not doesn't seem to be a budget, kind of like a bare bones budget type retreat. So this seems to be from everything we talked about with the premium accommodations and the amount of attention. What kinds of budget ranges are people going to be looking at for this?
Okay, here in the UK, it is £750 a day, but that includes everything. That's the whole package. So we come and pick you up, we drop you back off. The lunch is included, dinner is included. We take you to the best places. All the retreat activities are included. So the horse riding,
Meals,
the
everything. It's all
therapy,
in.
yeah, the local transport is included. Basically, you do not have to spend your money on anything. Everything is
£750 pounds sterling.
£750 a day. And a
Okay.
day is, well, a day is about 8 hours a day. But normally it's a lot more because,
Okay.
we have fun. The lovely thing about these retreats is we have fun. And there's a reason for this. I was talking to you about the stress bucket and the lovely thing that in the REM sleep, you empty the stress bucket. Of course, the other thing that you can do is do not fill the stress bucket full of negative thoughts. How
Yeah.
you're going to do this, a great solution is producing serotonin. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that regulates your general mood. This is not dopamine that gives you a hit or endorphins that are like, oh, wow, I feel great. No, this is your
Hmm.
general mood. How do you produce serotonin yourself? Usually, antidepressants make serotonin artificially. But how do you make it yourself? It's very, very easy. Three things are very important. First of all, do what you like doing, positive action. Do what you like doing because when you're out with your friends and you're shopping in the cinema, this and that, you're not putting things in your stress bucket. Secondly, positive interaction. Be nice to people. And these are little silly things, open a door for someone, say please, say thank you, offer to help someone with their bags. This is positive interaction. You are making serotonin. And the third one is probably the most difficult, positive thought. So from the moment you feel that you're self-filling that stress bucket again with your negative thoughts, stop. This is silly. Positive thoughts. Then you make a lot of serotonin. And serotonin is incredibly important. And it will help you not put as much in that stress bucket. And that's why our retreats are a lot of fun. We do a lot of laughing. There's a lot of humor. We have a great time because when you have a great time, you produce serotonin. You're not worrying about your stress bucket. So in your REM sleep, you don't have to empty out as much. So you won't feel as tired in the morning because the REM sleep, it is tiring.
So I have a question. Are those three ideas about producing serotonin or releasing serotonin? Because
Well,
doesn't your brain have
producing it,
like a stockpile and like an inventory of serotonin and then it gets released over time? or is it
Like
produced in
you
real
want to make
time?
sure there is a constant flow of serotonin being
Yeah,
transmitted,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you have a very good positive general mood, and this is what we want.
Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah. Amazing. Okay, so 750 a day, pound sterling in the UK. What about the Spain one? What are we looking at
The
there?
Spanish one is the same, so it's £750 a day. And again, everything is included there as well. So the
Well,
pickup from
you know,
Malaga Airport, the massage, the horse riding, the yoga. And again, some people will say, I just want a meditation session, thanks, because I don't like yoga. Some people will say, I'd like 5 sessions, please. And we will organize five
and that's
sessions for
all in. That's all included.
all in included.
Well, I got to be honest. I was expecting a higher number, so I'm going to
I know.
recommend that you raise your prices. And so, if anybody's watching this and is interested, you should probably get in on this now, because
There is
Anne's
there
going to
is
be
only
raising
one
her
thing I
prices soon.
Yeah, no, there's only one thing I need to mention, right? Before you all go crazy and start booking, the accommodation is not included in this.
Okay,
So,
plus
in all
accommodation. This is
yes,
tuition.
the accommodation. But then again, the Crown Plaza last time for our guests, they had a huge conference on. The prices were really, really expensive. And I said, look, okay, we will just use the Crown Plaza and all their facilities because they know us. We will just use it during the day whenever we need to. But it was massively expensive, the Crown Plaza, when she was here. And I said, look, just go on booking.com and book yourself. You only really
Mm.
needed to sleep. Just book yourself a cheap hotel. Sort of if you want to kind of bring the price down on the accommodation, you can. In Spain, in La Ruela, it's going to be really, really difficult to find accommodation because it is so incredibly busy in La Ruela. It's one of the most popular destinations at the moment on the Costa del Sol. And to kind of find something else is, at the moment, I think in April, I think it's like €79 for the apartment, which is nothing. It's about
That's nothing. Yeah,
£70.
yeah,
In
yeah.
October as well, I think in October is about €85 a night for the whole apartment. So it's not that expensive.
Okay, how many slots total again for Spain, 2025?
Sorry,
You
how
had
many?
how many total spots do you have? Four or
4.
five? Four.
Yeah, we're
And that's
doing 4.
April 2025?
Yeah, so it's the first 2 weeks of April. So we've got 2 there. So one is 5 days from the 31st of March until, oh, hang on, I've got it here. From the 31st of March until the 5th of April. And from the 7th till the 12th of April. We've got from the 13th till the 18th of October and the 20th till the 25th of October. But because we do realize that a lot of airlines, like you probably don't know this, Ryanair, right, big airline here in Europe,
Yeah.
really cheap.
Is that one of the discount airlines in Europe? Yeah.
Exactly, right. Very often they only go once or twice. So what we can do is we can just add 2 nights on. So you've got then a 7 night stay because it's easier to get your flights.
Okay. And then the ones in England, is it
Uh-huh.
mostly people from the UK coming to that, or are you having
Yes.
people fly in for that? Okay, so
We've never had anyone flying into the UK for that. All of our guests have been in the UK already.
okay, but you're open to other people if they watch this and they're inspired by it.
Of
Okay, so
course,
what's the best way for people to get in touch with you through the website link and
yeah,
then the
through the
WhatsApp, or
website,
what's
WhatsApp, or email. The email address is bexltd.com, which is on the website. And if you just put mental health retreat into Google, you should be able to find us very easily. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn. We've got a YouTube channel, a Bex YouTube channel. And this year is our 20th anniversary for Bex.
oh,
Really, really pleased. So thank you. Thank you.
congratulations. It's amazing.
Thank you. So we're doing a special promotion all of this year that all of our clients this year and all of our guests are getting a glass of champagne to help us celebrate.
Oh, that's a nice cherry on top. That's a nice one. Okay, wonderful. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us about mental health and raising awareness around the issues and problems that people are facing around mental health. I think this month with mental health awareness, so many people are suffering So many people are suffering from a couple of those serotonin producing activities that you mentioned
Mm.
require some element of socialization. And so a lot of people are suffering from loneliness, and a
They
lot of
do.
people are suffering from stress. And the loneliness causes a stress, and it's this vicious cycle. And so many people are suffering from stress from work, from life, from family, death, difficult situations, overwhelming situations that unfold in their life. So it's amazing to know that there's a team of specialists that can create a personalized retreat experience for you when you need it most, and that they are responsive to a fast turnaround. There's a lot of retreat experiences that require a lot of pre-planning, months and months in advance, and it's like planning for a holiday, or you got to go join a group. So I love the flexibility of this, and I love the responsiveness of it to people who need it when they need it. So it's an amazing offering. So thank you for sharing what you do with us and the
Oh,
Retreat
thank
Finder
you. And
community.
thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure. Great. So we'll put the various links down below in the video, and people can reach out and contact you and learn more.
Thank you ever so much.
Wonderful. Thanks, Anne.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you, Amir.
Bye bye.
Thank you.